The Uninvited Guest, Chapter 1, The Arrival. Sarah had always been a cat person. When she moved into her new apartment, she decided to adopt a cat from the local shelter. She chose Whiskers, a fluffy white Persian with striking blue eyes. From the moment she brought him home, Sarah knew they would be inseparable. Whiskers quickly settled into his new surroundings, claiming every cozy nook and cranny of the apartment as his own. He was affectionate and playful, always eager to curl up in Sarah's lap or chase after a toy on a string. Life with Whiskers was blissful, and Sarah couldn't imagine her world without him. But as time passed, Sarah began to notice subtle changes in Whiskers' behavior. He would stare at her with an intensity that made her uncomfortable, his blue eyes seeming to bore into her soul. Sometimes, when she looked away for a moment, she could swear he was gone only to reappear elsewhere in the blink of an eye. Sarah tried to dismiss these observations as mere figments of her imagination or tricks of the light. Surely, it was all in her head. Whiskers was just a cat after all. But then came the night when Sarah awoke to find Whiskers perched on her chest, his glowing eyes inches from her own. She gasped and tried to push him away, but he resisted with surprising strength. His claws dug into her skin as he leaned in closer, his breath hot against her face. "Sarah," he whispered in a voice that sounded nothing like a cat's meow. "Join me." Sarah screamed and thrashed until Whiskers finally jumped off her and fled the room. Trembling, she checked herself in the mirror. There were no marks on her skin, no sign that anything had happened at all. But Sarah knew what she'd experienced was real. From that night forward, Sarah's fear of Whiskers grew exponentially. She avoided being alone with him and locked him out of her bedroom whenever possible. But the eerie glow in his eyes and his unnatural strength persisted, a constant reminder that something was terribly wrong. One evening, Sarah came home to find her apartment door ajar. Heart pounding, she cautiously stepped inside, only to hear a strange rustling sound coming from the kitchen. She crept towards it and peeked around the corner to see Whiskers hunched over something on the floor. As she watched in horrified fascination, Whiskers' body began to convulse violently before collapsing into a pool of white fur. From within the fur emerged a shadowy figure that slowly coalesced into the shape of a man with glowing red eyes. The figure turned towards Sarah, its mouth splitting into a grin that revealed razor-sharp teeth. "Sarah," it hissed in Whiskers' voice, "I've been waiting for you." Sarah stumbled backwards, her mind reeling in disbelief and terror. She had to get out of there, had to find help. But before she could even turn around, the figure lunged at her with unnatural speed. She screamed as its claws raked across her cheek, drawing blood. Sarah kicked and punched wildly, finally managing to break free from its grip. She bolted for the front door and raced down the stairs of her apartment building, not daring to look back. Sarah ran until her lungs burned and her legs threatened to give out beneath her. Only when she reached a nearby park did she dare slow down, gasping for breath as she slumped against a tree trunk. Her hands shook as she reached up to touch the bloody wound on her face. Whatever Whiskers had become, it wasn't just a possessed cat anymore. It was something far more sinister and dangerous. Sarah knew she couldn't go back home, not while that thing was still there. She needed help, but who could she turn to? As Sarah sat there in the moonlight, trying to formulate a plan, she suddenly felt an unsettling presence nearby. She whipped her head around to see Whiskers standing mere feet away, his glowing eyes locked onto hers. "You can't run from me forever," he said, his voice dripping with malevolence. "I will find you." Sarah screamed and leapt to her feet, sprinting away into the darkness of the park once more. She didn't know where she was going or what she would do next, but one thing was clear: Whiskers had become far more than just a pet. He had become a demonic force set on destroying her life. Sarah knew she had to find a way to stop him before he succeeded.